Greetings, this is Erodo Jumbo. I am going to do a voiceover because the audio was completely destroyed due to failed upgrade. So the computer crashed. I spent got a few hours trying to resolve it, and I just had to basically reinstall everything. So let's begin. Greetings, this is Erodo Jumbo. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a Java-based camera preview for an Android application. So right now, as you see, I'm just setting up in the background. So the tools you need for this tutorial, obviously you need Android Studio. You don't need to know much about Java. I'll provide the code, including the code snippets, so you can just follow along. And also, the only other thing you need is obviously a testing device. I'm going to be using the emulator. Obviously, this tutorial is going to be a showcase because I have to really reinstall everything. So that means I have to reinstall obviously Android Studio and all the SDKs and everything, but that's fine. I think it should be good for you guys to learn how to start Android development in the future tutorial. Okay, so I think I'm almost ready to begin here. So what I've done so far is I've made sure Android Studio is working fine. I've also created a folder to hold this project, and just to let you know, you can subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. I think maybe I should have sped this up a little bit because this is almost 2 minutes and I still haven't begun yet, which is really interesting. Okay, so I will, while this is going on, I'm going to explain how the live streams work. So what you do is you go to the watch menu, then which is an item, a menu item, then you click the live sub menu, and then you will see the upcoming live streams. For example, what I do is I put the title. So example, this one is Java Camera2 API Android development. And what I also do is I put the estimated date and time. And then you see in the article right in the beginning here, the first snippet of the article, it says live stream set for, and it puts a date and the time, and it's Eastern time. And then you can ask questions in the live chat about any programming or lifestyle topic. So where it says the live stream will be on, for example, this one is being on YouTube. So you can watch it on YouTube, and then if you log into YouTube, if you have an account, you can ask questions there for live chat. If you don't want to do that, you don't even have to go to YouTube. You can simply scroll down, you'll see a video, and the video is embedded, so you can go ahead and watch it there, right on ojumbo.com. Okay, it's been 3 minutes. I think this should be good enough to start. Yes, so good. Okay, looks like finally you're ready to start. And as I show here, you see the watch, the live menu there, and yeah, there you go. You see I'm showing you for this one is called Java Camera2 API Android development, and you saw the time there, and now I'm just showing you the snippet there. So the reason we're using the Camera2 API is because it offers developers more control over the camera hardware. You get a lot of advanced features. Some of them could be like fine-grained adjustments, such as the shutter speed, that's the ISO, autofocus, and raw capture. And then the Camera2 API reference, I have a link there. So you can open that up, and you can see that it's the Android hardware Camera2, and there's a lot of things you can do with the camera. I mean, my tutorials are just going to touch on the basic stuff. This is just preview, but there's a lot there. So I decided to cut. So this video or this tutorial will be probably done over 3 videos. So for today, the only thing we're doing is we're just going to do a preview, meaning we're going to take the camera and put it into a texture view. Then in the next series for the Java, we'll save an image, and then finally we'll then take that image and upload it to a local server. So this is part of obviously the ongoing chicken webcam series. And as you can see here, I'm showing you here that the one we did before was Kotlin instead of Java. But then the Kotlin, the problem with it is that a lot of things get deprecated, and even just the syntax and everything. So that's kind of annoying. The good thing about Java is as long as your code is valid, you don't have to worry about deprecated way of the syntax or anything else. So that's a good thing. So you can see here, I took 2 code snippets. One is to open the camera, one is to preview the camera. So basically, as I said, we're just going to open up the camera, and then in order to preview, we're going to put it on texture view. Now in the future, I'll just use this service. I won't do a preview, because once the images have been taken on the uploaded server, that's where I'll be viewing them, so that they'll act as a preview. But sometimes you do want to see some things in real time, so that's how we do it. So as you can see here, I have opened up the last one where we left off, and you see it's Kotlin. So yeah, there we go. So I closed that project and I'm creating a new one. So I'm explaining here that one of the problems with Google pushing us to use Kotlin is that I can't, for example, use an empty activity, because if you do that, it will, as you can see here, there's no, the default language is Kotlin, so you can't use that with Java. And then, for example, the only one you can use is either the empty or this one, which is the basic activity. So this one at least lets me pick, at least at the time of this recording, in 2025 in spring, I'm able to pick Java. So I was kind of surprised by this, so that's great. So what I did was I then just entered a name, and then I wanted to use the word Java, so that way there won't be confusion in case we also continue with Kotlin in the future. So I'm leaving it at the Android 7.0 because my old device, it actually came with Android 7, and I updated to 8, and that was it. Thanks, Sony. So yeah, so my daily driver, it's a Samsung Galaxy S21 FE Fan Edition. So that one, at least it has the latest Android, which is 14.0, at least at the time of this recording, so that's great. But obviously, since it's my daily driver, it's not going to be the one that I'm going to be, I'm going to be using the chicken webcam. So what I decided to do here is, as you see, it comes with all these fragments and a lot of other craft we don't need for especially today's tutorial, because all we're doing is just doing a preview. I know Java you have to write more, but I'll explain everything. Okay, so here I am deciding, so what I decide to do is for the Android manifest here, we need permissions to use the camera, and we want to let the user know that it uses the camera. Obviously it's going to be called chicken webcam, it clearly needs to use the camera. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm not sure which camera, obviously I want to use the back-facing camera, but some Android devices only have one camera, some have like 4 cameras. Like for example, my daily driver, it has 4 cameras, only 2 are actually usable. So you need to put that in an Android manifest. So what I was a little bit confused here because I remember I wasn't sure if this tutorial, I've done this tutorial before, so that's why I'm actually checking on jambo.com. Then it took me a while to realize that yes, I have done an Android Studio tutorial before, not the Kotlin one. It was when I was testing the SSL certificate. That's why I got confused, because that obviously ties together. That will also be part of the chicken webcam, because we're going to self-sign a certificate. So here, as you can see here, what I did was I said the user's features. It's going to use the camera. Now I could have said, the front facing, back facing. I'm not sure which one, but just basically a camera. I said we might have people select whatever camera they want to use in the future. Okay, and then obviously the permission is the camera permission. So the person who installs this will know that this app is going to request to use the camera. Basically, what I'm saying is that this application we're making today is useless without a camera. In fact, as I said, the future name is going to be called Chicken Webcam, so it literally needs the camera. Okay, so I didn't want to confuse you guys, so what I did here was I did not add the other things, for example, for the file permissions, saving and all that. So that will be a future tutorial. For this one, I'll just leave everything as is. And as you see, I didn't create the network config file for the SSL certificate, self-signed one. We'll do that again in a future tutorial. Okay, so next, I need a layout. So this one already has a layout, but it has way too much stuff. I don't need all of that. So all I need is, for this one, is I just need a parent layout. I'll use a relative layout, and obviously text review. So I only need two things. You see this one, it's like it has quite a few things here, which I don't need all of it. So I'll just delete this and create my own. Yeah, so just select everything there, just a backspace or delete key, and then it's all gone. And I just so you can use the graphic one, but as you can see, the relative layout is hidden, or it's not selectable by using this fancy GUI. This is another reason I always say that it's a good thing to know how to work things in the command line, because otherwise you would be lost here. So as you can see, that's the relative layout. It's very simple, and the width and height I just set to match parent, because it's going to be the full width and full height. And that's a texture view, and the width and height are set to the basically the parent, because there's no other content in there. And obviously we need to close off the relative view, and that's it. Now, if you notice, the texture view has an ID right there. When I zoomed in, you see the ID is texture. Okay, now after clearing all that craft, we can actually start coding. I'm just going to zoom in here, and I'm going to create some variables. Next, I create a texture view variable and some other variables. So here, as you can see, one is for the camera ID, another one is for the camera device, the camera capture session. The reason why I'm creating all these variables is because if in the future we have a button to stop and start again, for example, the preview, it's always better to have these variables uh, available for all the methods inside the class. So that's why I'm doing it this way. Otherwise, I could have simply just used them in the method where they're actually being used for this tutorial. But it's always good to when you're programming to future-proof it. And here I'm setting the content view to the layout. Remember, we created the layout which was called activity_main. And you also remember the texture view had an ID. Then as you can see here, I set the texture view variable to by using the find view by ID. If you remember, it was texture. That's the ID we created in the layout, and I assert it. And then I also create a surface texture listener, and we're going to pass in a method called texture listener, which we'll create later. Now to save time, I'm pasting here as This video is way over an hour long, and I don't want to talk over after the fixed audio. So what I do is I paste this, and I promise in the next two tutorials, when we continue this series, I will explain everything. It'll make more sense when we actually save the images and then upload them to our local server. So here I'm just using a toast, and the create camera preview method will also be created in the future. I'm just removing because it's not needed for this tutorial today. This is our method to open the camera, and as you can see here, check permissions. We need a package manager, and if you notice there's red for the camera, that's because we can't just import, or the Android Studio doesn't understand, so we have to manually add the manifest. That's the fix, so that's, be aware of that. I believe I also had the same problem with Kotlin, so yours have to manually add the Android manifest. Okay, so for the image dimension, which is a size, we'll create a variable for that soon. As you see here, image dimension is just the size, and the image reader is just an image reader, which we can import the class. If you notice, it didn't also import the size, so that's we need to do that manually. So I just add that Android util size, and everything is here. So resolve the rest of this little in the red issues. So that one is a simple one. Created the camera ID twice, got rid of that one. And this one was a simple one. Instead of using single quotes, use double quotes. And you see that's a simple fix. Everything is working well now. I'm using the emulator, and when it requests the permissions, you see it gives this little Android animation. That's to mimic a camera. And obviously, I do recall in the past when I used the emulator, it actually did use the webcam installed on your workstation. I'm guessing they don't do that anymore, maybe for permissions or for security reasons they don't do that. Okay, that's fine, but it does work on a physical device. So I'm gonna attempt here to the run configurations to connect using Wi-Fi wirelessly. I do recommend using the pair with code instead of the QR codes, because the QR code, every time I've tried it, it disconnects the Wi-Fi. So that could be a problem if you're using Wi-Fi calling. But I did manage to get this working. So if you notice in a future tutorial, that's one of the things we're going to do. So be sure to subscribe, like, follow, leave comments for more frequent content. Every day I'm hosting a live stream. Visit ojambo.com for details. Select the watch menu item, then the live sub menu for upcoming live streams. As you can see here, there's approximate date and time and the channel that the live stream will be held. Okay, and if you enjoy this, consider supporting me. Purchase one of my WordPress plugins at ojambo.com. Enroll in my programming courses at ojamboshop.com. Buying my programming books on Amazon, search for Edward Ojambo, links in the description. Hiring me for your programming and app development needs at ojamboservices.com. Become a donor at ojambo.com/donate. Thank you.